Hi there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always, it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. Now, I'm sure at the moment, one of the first things that you're probably all thinking is, what is he doing inside? Well, unfortunately, at the moment, it is just far too windy. I would not be able to get any clear audio going on at all, so I've had to resort to doing today's video inside. Well, what am I going to be reviewing for you? Well, if you haven't figured that out already by the thumbnail, I'm going to be reviewing this. This is the latest release from Starward. This is the Starward Vitalis. It is a celebration of the 15-year anniversary of the Starward distillery. Now, just keep in mind that this is not a 15-year-old age statement whiskey. Like I just said, it is just a celebration of the 15-year anniversary of Starward. Very similar to the 10-year anniversary whiskey release that came out 5 years ago. One thing that I would also like to mention is the term or the name of this particular whiskey, Vitalis. Vitalis is the Latin word for life, which is a play on David Vitali's surname, especially coming from his Italian background. I think this is a very fine fitting name for this particular release. Now, another thing that I would also mention about this is that the Starward Vitalis has our signature red wine barrel foundation and takes a walk through the bond store with the addition of select parcels of whiskey from tawny, rum, bourbon, and Apera barrels. It is a celebration of Starward and New Horizons. Now, this is something here for the comment section below. Now, I have been enjoying Starward for the last almost 6 years now. I have not yet tried anything of theirs that has been aged in rum casks. So please let me know down below if you have tried anything of Starward before that has been previously aged in rum casks, or maybe this is something that we have to look forward to in the future. Let's get started on the review, and I'm going to pour some of this, the Starward Vitalis. So this has been bottled at 52% ABV. I think that should do. Okay, let's get started on the nose. Let's get into it. Cheers. Okay, so it just starts off with your typical Starward ripe fruits. It is quite berry forward. I'm getting a lot of sweet ripe raspberries. It's not Starward without that typical banana note. That's something that you'll find in every Starward release. I don't think I have had anything at this stage that I have not been able to notice the banana note on it, but that is definitely something that is very Starward. I'm quite excited to see how much of the red wine influence has actually stayed within this particular whiskey. I guess it also helps that it has been aged with, say, ex-Apera and tawny casks. So it's quite dusty. It has a lot of cereal grain influence coming along. Stewed fruits. I am getting figs, prunes, raisins. There are very soft oaky notes coming through. I kind of had the feeling that this would have been a little bit more oak forward, but surprisingly it is not. The oak influence is very subtle. It's actually allowing more of the berry and fruit style notes to come through rather than being dominated by the whole oaky woody style. So I'm also getting hints of dark chocolate, also tobacco leaf, more so along the lines of a cigar leaf. So the fruitiness is also starting to change, and now I'm actually starting to get more of like a candied note, but it is still like those red raspberry lollies. Some honey and vanilla, definitely caramel, honeysuckle, lemon zest. Yeah, there is definitely a lot going on in this glass, and I think once you kind of have a little bit more time to allow it to breathe and open up, you will get more out of it, especially adding some water. I mean, this has been bottled at 52%, so adding some water into it will definitely allow you to play with it a little bit more. All right, let's move on to the palate and see what we get. Cheers. All right, so this is reminding me of a much more amped up version of the Starward Nova. Again, you're definitely noticing that red wine cask influence. Nice thick syrupy mouthfeel. Considering the strength of this, you would expect it to be a lot heavier. You would expect it to have quite a bit more bite, but it's quite mellow. It's very approachable, and those fruity berry notes are all there. I'm picking up lots of raspberry, strawberry, sultanas, prunes again. But one thing that I'm actually really enjoying about this, and it's not something that I've picked up on any other Starward before, but it is just reminding me of the Kellogg Sultana brand cereal. You've got this like very bran cereal kind of note that's coming along, that's mixed in with those dried sultanas as well. Lots of vanilla and caramel. It's a very chewy and thick whiskey. Normally, most other whiskeys that I've had before, you take a sip, you kind of get over the initial shock of it, and then you move on, and you don't really notice I guess, the overall mouthfeel and texture of the whiskey. But this is maintaining that nice, thick, syrupy vibe across the whole experience of the whiskey so far. It's actually reminding me a lot of a previous Joadja whiskey release that I've had, and also another Florio, both of which are Australian distilleries. So if you are interested in discovering more of those, I'll also link those reviews in the description box down below. But both of those whiskeys have kind of given me a similar experience, and I'm glad to see that they're all coming from Australian whiskies as well. The banana note is still there, but it's not as prominent as it was on the nose. You do have to search for it a little bit more. I think it is getting hidden a little bit by the other fruity notes. Towards the back end of the palate, I'm starting to notice a little bit of smoke, obviously coming from the barrel char. Starward, as far as I am aware, actually don't have any peated whiskies. They have used ex-Isla casks, but as far as I know, they have not made their own peated malt yet. So yes, I'm getting a little bit of smoke from the barrel char. You will notice that barrel char influence coming through. It's quite chocolatey as well. Think along the lines of a dark chocolate rum raisin. It really is amazing to see just the way it just keeps opening up, and more just keeps coming out of it. This is definitely a whiskey that I'm very much looking forward to being able to sit down and just explore and experiment with it. Whether I'm adding water into it, or just playing around with different mixes. That's one way of enjoying whiskies that I do like to do, and that's exploring them with using different things, say whether it's soda water or tonic water. Starward whiskies especially pair exceptionally well with tonic water, and you're just able to get a whole different dimension from the whiskey itself. So I'm very much looking forward to being able to play around with this. Moving along to the finish, again, it is just so soft and mellow. It is very friendly. Other whiskies that I've had at this strength before tend to have a bit of a kickback. This one doesn't. It is just, you just kept getting these very like juicy waves of fruits returning up on you. So you keep getting, again, the raspberries and figs. Now it's also starting to change into more of your orchard fruits. So now I'm starting to get things like red apple, pear. There's a little bit more citrus coming through as well. So I'm thinking along the lines of mandarin. It's a very, very versatile whiskey, and it just keeps offering more and more and more. I think anybody that has been lucky enough to have gotten one of these bottlings, I think if you do end up opening it up and trying it, I think you are in for a real treat. And I hope you do open them. I mean, yes, there are going to be a lot of people that have bought these just to collect and flip later on. All the power to you. But I do beg you all to to try it, whether you're able to get a sample or whether you crack open one of your own bottles. It is definitely worth a try. I think that's all I have to say about this. I could just keep going on and on and on, but then we're going to be stuck here for another hour, and I guess none of you want that. So I will call it here. If you have been enjoying this content so far, please make sure you hit the bell notification and the subscription button so that you can stay up to date with all future content. My name is Andrew, and I'll see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS. Well, since you made it this far into the video, why not go ahead and check out some of these other reviews that I have done. I will see you all again on the next video. Bye bye.